والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالهدى والدين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. أما بعد فيا عباد الله، أوصي نفسي وأوصيكم بتقوى الله عز وجل. فقد قال الله جل في علاه في القرآن العظيم بعد أن نقول أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وبعد, I begin by praising and thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. نحمده, we compliment him, ونستعينه, and we ask him for help, ونستغفره, and we beg for his forgiveness, ونؤمن به, and we believe in him, ونتوكل عليه, and we put our trust completely in Allah. Whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to guide, no one can lead that person astray. And whomsoever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to lead astray, no one can guide that person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you and me in the Quran, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, O you who believe, O you who are committed to Iman and faith, ittaqullaha haqqa tuqatihi. Be aware of your relationship with Allah and be afraid of breaking that relationship in the way that He deserves. وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. And don't ever give yourself the opportunity to die except that you're a Muslim. Alhamdulillah, it's a great blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we got to live through the month of Ramadan, and an additional blessing that we get to live after the month of Ramadan. For some of us, the month of Ramadan may be a distant memory, but on the day of judgment, by the permission and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we may see it again as an investment of a lifetime. Even though Ramadan is a month that comes once a year, it's really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And so we have this great gratitude toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us to be part of the ayah, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ, so that you can complete the count, complete all the days of Ramadan, the fasting that's obligatory upon us, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ, and so that you can proclaim the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that hopefully you can increase in your capacity for gratitude. So you have more thankfulness toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the month of Ramadan, one of the things that we always talk about after Ramadan is continuing those good habits that we had. In Ramadan, we got to build certain qualities, certain habits, certain practices, ways of carrying ourselves that we became used to in the month of Ramadan. Just like in the beginning when we started to fast from food and drink, it was out of the ordinary. But then we got used to it. And when we broke our fast on the day of Eid, it felt strange eating in the morning. In the month of Ramadan, there were habits that we built, decreasing our screen time, not spending time on things that are wasteful, making sure that we're more cognizant and aware of our behavior towards other people, being nicer to our family, our friends, donating more, sacrificing more of our time for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And after this 30-day mark, this 1 month mark, after the month of Ramadan, it's a good time for us to assess ourselves. The scholars say that you are a person that lived through the month of Ramadan. You may be a person that Allah saved from the hellfire. And if Allah saves somebody from the hellfire, they are a person of Jannah. The month of Ramadan, Allah is using the means of our worship, our actions towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a means and as a reason, as an excuse to forgive this person from the hellfire, that person from the hellfire, and make all of us, by the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people of Jannah. So the scholars say, oh, you who was just freed from the hellfire, don't you dare turn around and start picking up those bad habits that you left in the month of Ramadan and start heading towards the hellfire. May Allah protect us from that. The scholars tell us that you, the one who tasted the sweetness of salah, who maybe felt like the first time in your life you felt close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, again in this season of Ramadan, praying in Tarawih, praying in the middle of the night. Don't let go of that sweetness after the month of Ramadan. Oh, you, the one who made the Quran your companion, your best friend in the month of Ramadan. Anywhere you went, the Quran was chasing you, befriending you. You were listening to it, you were learning about it, reflecting, reciting it more and more and more. Don't abandon your best friend after the month of Ramadan. We want to continue those good habits that we built, and all centered around this quality of taqwa, of being more aware and conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being afraid of breaking our relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, being careful of every step that we take so that we do not open ourselves up to the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May Allah protect us from that. So Ramadan was an opportunity to build this muscle of taqwa, this capability and this capacity to be more intellectually but more spiritually mature. And think about how will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judge this action that I'm doing right now. And in Ramadan, we had the advantage of the infinite mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being showered upon us, the shayateen being locked up, having a culture and a community in our family and around us that wanted to be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It was almost impossible to escape. But now that responsibility falls upon us even more. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He talks about taqwa, He tells us in the Quran, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, all of you have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We all have to do it. But the actual responsibility falls upon each individual. Allah says, وَلْتَنْظُرْ نَفْسٌ مَا قَدَّمَتْ لِغَدٍ. Every person should pay close attention to the deeds that they're sending into the future. The actions that they're doing right now, and they will be deeds that manifest in the hereafter. And so every person has to pay close attention. Nobody can have taqwa for me, nobody can have taqwa for you. Nobody can safeguard the 5 daily prayers for you except for you yourself. As much as we want for our children to be as close to the Quran as possible, there's nothing that we can do except for us to make sure that our relationship with the Quran is strong and solid. That the obligations, the rights, and the responsibilities that the Quran has upon us are being fulfilled. The Quran has a right upon us that, number one, it should be believed in first and foremost. That we have this desperate need for the wahi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That no matter a person or a group of people, as smart or intellectual as they may be, they can never come together to formulate the guidance that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided to us in the Quran. And when we say the Quran, we also mean the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his manifestation of the Quran. Just like somebody needs oxygen, we have this desperate need for wahi. We cannot survive without it. Nobody can live the highest quality of their life in this dunya except with the connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, just like somebody stumbling in darkness, not able to know where they're supposed to go, they are harm to themselves and to others if they don't have this light from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says in the Quran, وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجْعَلِ اللَّهُ لَهُ نُورًا فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ نُورٍ. Anybody whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not grant a light to, there is no light for that person. If you were to go outside and cover your eyes, close your eyes and start driving, and you have to go to a certain destination, and you don't know the directions, and you can't see, if you were to go outside and start driving, you would harm yourself and you would harm others. We are in desperate need of this light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this wahi that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, قَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بَصَائِرُ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. Allah says that insights have come to you from your Lord, from your Master. Whoever takes this insight, this advice, this guidance, these hukam, these decisions and rulings from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then that is good for that person. And whoever is blind towards them, then it is going to be against that person. Nobody is hurting themselves, nobody's hurting anyone except for themselves if they abandon or ignore the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when we think about this quality of continuing this taqwa after the month of Ramadan, it's important to know, okay, what is the opposite of taqwa? What does it look like if somebody is not exercising this capacity of having taqwa, this connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The opposite of taqwa is ignoring Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing the things that you're supposed to do, but actively saying, no, I'm not going to do those things. This is the opposite of taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ. Don't be like the people who forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They ignored Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then what is the consequence? What is the result if somebody does this? Well, what do they have to lose? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in one ayah, فَنَسِيَهُمْ. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ignores them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgets them. And of course, you know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not forget anything. And the scholars tell us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tied the consequence to the action. That there are people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is warning us, do not be like these people. Why? Because they nasaw, they forgot Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They got busy with their life in this world, they got busy with themselves, their own goals, their aspirations, the things that they wanted, their desires, and they forgot that there is a whole other world waiting for us beyond the world that we're in right now. And there is a whole other life waiting for us beyond the life that we're in right now. And that life is our true and actual life. That is a life that goes on forever and ever and ever. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when these people made this decision, they continued in these actions of forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah ignored them. Allah forgot them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the same verb, nasiyahum. Even though Allah does not forget to tell us that there's a connection between the action and the reaction. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave us free will, He gave us ability, He gave us guidance. So many people had the chance to answer the call in the month of Ramadan, and they answered that call by fasting and overcoming their certain desires and becoming the best version of themselves. We have a call after the month of Ramadan as well, to have taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we have to answer that call. And the ones who ignore that call, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ignores them. And in a different ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Don't be like the people who forgot Allah and they ignored Allah, so Allah made them forget themselves. What does it mean if somebody forgets themselves? They forget their purpose in life. They forget that no matter what you accomplish in this world, if you sever your ties with the hereafter, then what have you actually accomplished? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا هَذِهِ الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ. And this worldly life is nothing but distraction and amusement. وَإِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانُ لَوْ كَانُوا يَعْلَمُونَ. And it is the house of the hereafter that is your true and actual life, if they actually knew, if they actually understood. In this ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that if somebody has no vision of the hereafter, if somebody has no wisdom to look beyond just the 10, 20, 50, 80 years that they're alive in this world, if they don't have that insight to know what's waiting for them in the hereafter, and all the things that we're doing are actions that we're sending to the hereafter that we will be responsible for. Every word that I say and every action that I do, that all of this in this world is lahun wa la'ib. It is distraction and amusement. And I don't want anybody to misunderstand this ayah. This doesn't mean that a person would abandon their responsibilities in this dunya. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that this worldly life is nothing but distraction and amusement, fun and games, it means somebody who only lives for the dunya. If somebody does not live for the hereafter, they could have the nicest house, they could have the fastest car, they could have the most luxurious items and gadgets and technology, and a big family and everything that they could ever want in this world. But if they do not believe in the hereafter to begin with, they're not working towards the hereafter, they have no expectations of anything being returned to them in the hereafter, then it is all just fun and games. No matter what you accomplish in this world, all you have done is what a little kid would do: distract themselves a little bit, have a little bit of momentary fun, and that's about it. But but it is the house of the hereafter. There's a home. We are made from Jannah, and we're made for Jannah. We want to go to Jannah. In our khutbah, in our deepest part of ourselves, we have a yearning for living forever, in joy and amusement and relaxation and serenity and happiness, without stress or anxiety or injustice or fear or any of these types of things. We all want this in our heart of hearts, every single one of us. And Allah says, He doesn't just call it the hereafter. He says, in the house of the hereafter. You have a home that's waiting for you right now. Each of us has property in paradise that's waiting for us right now. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Jannah, He created space for every human being and every jinn from the beginning of time all the way until the end of time. It's literally waiting for us right now. And Allah says it is al-hayawan. Al-hayawan is a very interesting word because it only occurs once in the Quran. And it sounds like the word animal, but it doesn't mean the word animal. Al-hayawan in Arabic means al-hayat al-abadiyya, al-hayat al-sababiyya, al-hayat al-haqiqiyya, your true and actual life. Allah mentioned this word just once because you have one actual life that you will live. One true life. That is a life for the hereafter. And the life that we're living right now is like comparing a shadow to the actual person. If you're walking down the street and somebody looks at your shadow, do they know anything about who you actually are? They don't know anything about you. They don't know who you are, your beliefs, what you've done in the past, what you're going to do in the future, your potential, your hopes, your fears. Everything that you are, you cannot understand that from looking at somebody's shadow. This life is a shadow compared to the world, the life that's waiting for us in the hereafter. And each of us has a journey. We have a book that is our entire life. And this life is not our entire book. This is just the cover or the title. We have an entire world of experiences waiting for us in Ad-Dar al-Akhirah, our home in the hereafter. And this word al-hayawan in Arabic, it comes from a pattern we call in Arabic a masdar that's on the pattern of fa'ala, which means that the meaning of this word has al-haraka built inside of it. It has movement built inside of it. And that means that the life that we have waiting for us in the hereafter has abundant and unlimited movement, autonomy and freedom. You have no restrictions in the hereafter. The life that you're living right now, each and every single one of us, is a great blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This life is restricted compared to the life that's waiting for us. And indeed, the Prophet told us that the life of the dunya is a sijn for the believer. It's a prison for the believer. Yes, we have so much autonomy and freedom of choice and things that we can do, and that's a great blessing. And especially living in this land that we live in, alhamdulillah, we have opportunity to worship and practice our religion in a way that other people around the world, there are people that are forbidden, Muslims that are forbidden from accessing the mushaf, or praying in public, or expressing their beliefs with comfort and ease. We have a great blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But compared to the life that is waiting for us in the hereafter, we are severely restricted and limited in this world. And it's like comparing a person to the life, to the area that they were in prior to where you are right now. We were all in a space much more restricted than where we are right now, when we were in the wombs of our mothers. And if somebody came up to that child in the womb, or that fetus in the womb, and said, you won't believe you're going to live another life after this. You're going to be living in this dunya, and you're going to have so much freedom and so much ability. You're going to taste amazing food, and you're going to drive cars, and you're going to have a whole other life. And this fetus in the womb, its mother's stomach, what are you talking about? I have an amazing life right now. I get to move around as much as I want. I kick sometimes. People are impressed. Anytime I want food, it comes on demand. Whatever I want, it just comes, and it tastes amazing. It's awesome. And you tell them, no, you won't believe it. You have a whole other life after this. You're going to walk around. You're going to be in the Liberty Building. You're going to be in the masjid. You're going to have an iPhone. You're going to drive an awesome car. You're going to eat this food. It's called biryani. It's going to blow your mind. You're going to have this amazing life after this life that you're in right now. You won't even believe it. And he says, what are you talking about? I don't want that kind of life. I'm comfortable where I am. I have everything I could want. We are living in this world, and we know the stress and the responsibility and the obligation that it is not easy to fulfill everything that we need to do. But we have another life waiting for us, and Allah says, "No كانوا يعلمون," if they only knew. If they only knew what's actually waiting for them. Tonight we have a program at the masjid after Maghrib prayer, I think around 8 or 8:15. It's about Jannah. We're going to spend an hour, myself and the Imam, and we're going to discuss a detailed description of Jannah and what's waiting for us, and the actions that we can do to earn the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to enter into this abode, this forever paradise, this place of relaxation and comfort and serenity, a place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ ثَمَّ رَأَيْتَ نَعِيمًا وَمُلْكًا كَبِيرًا. When you look around in Jannah, the only things you're going to see are things that put a smile on your face, things that satisfy you. We're going to talk in a lot of detail. It's for the entire family. It's free. There will be snacks as well. I want to encourage everybody to try to come tonight, and also to share this with other people so we can have a large community, be present, so that we can all align on our understanding of Jannah and help each other do the actions that earn the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We're going to discuss the different levels of Jannah, the people al-Firdaus al-A'la, who the Prophet called them Ashab al-Ghuraf, the people that have these private chambers, these rooms that are customized for them. And he explained to us that when we go to paradise, when we go to Jannah, that when we enter into our palace in Jannah, we will be more comfortable there than we were anywhere in this world. Even the most intimate, private, customized place that you have in the dunya, that you feel so at ease and so relaxed, you will immediately have a higher level of satisfaction entering into these houses of paradise. We're also going to talk about the people that are in the lower levels of Jannah and how we can attain higher levels. We're going to talk about a person who has the crumbs of Jannah, who is literally the poorest person in paradise. Can you imagine a person in this world that you could point to and say, this is the poorest person in the dunya? We know it would be somebody who doesn't have a home, doesn't have nice clothes, maybe doesn't have enough money for their next meal. But there's a person in Jannah that the Prophet described who is the poorest person in Jannah. He is the last person to exit from the hellfire and to enter into paradise. And this person has multiples of this dunya, 10 times this universe that belongs to just this one person. And that means they have something that, like, we work our entire life to get 0.0001% of something good from this dunya, so that we can live a comfortable life, provide for our family. But this person has multiples of this entire dunya, a kingdom the likes of which no human being has ever possessed. And this is the person who has the lowest level in Jannah. And anytime we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Jannah, the Prophet told us, إِذَا سَأَلْتُمُ اللَّهَ الْجَنَّةَ فَاسْأَلُوهُ الْفِرْدَوْسَ الْأَعْلَى. Anytime you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for Jannah, make sure you ask for the highest of Jannah. Because we ask for al-Firdaus al-A'la. Because that part of Jannah is A'laha wa awsatuha. It is like the peak of a mountain. It is the highest part of Jannah, it is the middle of Jannah. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable us and our families to enter into the highest al-Firdaus al-A'la, save us from the hellfire. One of the last restrictions I want to mention before I close the khutbah is a scene that the Prophet describes before entering into paradise. something that helps you understand how special this gift is that's waiting for us. So many times in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that what's in Jannah is khalidina fiha. The people in Jannah are khalidina. They get to enjoy this forever and ever and ever, for infinite, eternally. Abadan, forever and ever and ever. It does not cease. And we all can understand this right now, but to really appreciate that blessing, it's something that you experience in the hereafter. When you understand what's right in front of you, and that it will not cease, it will not go away. It doesn't have the deficiencies of this dunya, that when you get something in this dunya, as special as it may be, or expensive, or awesome, that experience may be, it's always deficient because no matter what, you will get bored of it at a certain point. You will want something else. Your curiosity and your eyes will linger towards something different than what you have, even if it's not better. You will get bored of it for sure, but also it's temporary. Just like all of us in this world, all of us in this room, we all have an expiration date. We don't know what it is. And we have a transition to hereafter that's waiting for us. One of the scenes that the Prophet described in an authentic narration, he said that after the matter has been decided, after everybody knows whether they're a person of Jannah, may Allah make us among them, or a person of the hellfire, may Allah protect us from that, there's a scene that happens on the Day of Judgment that these two audiences they witness. The Prophet says that yukta bil touch, that a ram or a goat is brought. That's a little bit like black and white looking. And it's brought in front of these two audiences. And the people of Jannah and the people of hellfire are asked, أَتَعْرِفُونَ هَذَا? Do you recognize this? And they say, yes, هَذَا الْمَوْتِ. They say, yes, this is death. And the Prophet said, كُلُّهُمْ قَدْ رَآهُ. Every single one of them has seen death before. So they recognize that this represents, symbolizes, and is death. And then an angel, فَيُذْبَحُ. This ram is slaughtered in front of these two audiences. And the people of Jannah and the people of hellfire, they are told, خُلُودٌ فَلَا مَوْتٍ. خُلُودٌ فَلَا مَوْتٍ. You get to live and experience this forever and ever and ever. That paradise, even though you know it right now, when you learn about different things about Jannah in the hereafter, they come up as a surprise because they exceeded your expectations. It's almost like you're hearing them for the first time. And I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow each and every single one of us to enjoy the sweetness of hearing these words for ourselves, that you get to live in Jannah forever and ever and ever, perpetual paradise without an end. And again, I want to invite all of you and your families and for you to share this program tonight after Isha. Me and the Imam are going to discuss these details of Jannah and actions and take questions for all of you as well. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأولين والآخرين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا آمنا فاكتبنا مع الشاهدين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم إنا نسألك لذة النظر إلى وجهك الكريم والشوق إلى لقائك. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأوفوا بعهد الله إذا عاهدتم ولا تنقضوا الأيمان بعد توكيدها. قد جعل الله عليكم كفيلا إن الله يعلم ما تفعلون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله